Over the centuries, artists have explored what cats are like, what they do, and the close relationships between cats and humans, especially between feline and female. An Egyptian artist 3,500 years ago executed a wall painting for a burial chamber in Thebes. In it, the deceased man Nebamun hunts in a lush landscape. He stands in a boat accompanied by his family. Birds of many species fly out of the papyrus plants after he has disturbed them with a snake-headed stick in his left hand. He holds 3 birds by the legs in his other hand. But Nebamun's catch is no match for his big ginger cat. The cat, feet off the ground, has caught a bird in its mouth, one in its front paws and another with its back feet. The Egyptian cat goddess Bastet is a hunter of snakes. She is also associated with domesticity and maternity. In a freestanding limestone sculpture made in Egypt in the 1st century, Bastet is shown with a feline head and the body of a woman. She holds a sistrum, a kind of ceremonial rattle, in her right hand and a child in the other. Sometimes she can be accompanied by kittens instead of human children. British and European artists and writers in the Middle Ages recognized cats as good hunters. We find cats in bestiaries, encyclopedic books about animals. A page from a 12th century bestiary made in England contains 3 cats, green, blue, and cream, sitting on the left. The cream one holds a rat. A 4th cat on the right is chasing a mouse, but it looks as though the mouse might get away since it is pictured outside the enclosure the cats inhabit. Cats can be musical. A Book of Hours, a prayer book, made in England in the 14th century, shows a skinny cat playing a rebec with a bow. The cat's stripes are painted as tiny squiggles. Another 14th century Book of Hours, made in the Netherlands, contains an image of a playful tabby distracting a nun at work. The cat grabs the nun's spindle while she spins wool from a distaff. Nuns loved to have all kinds of animals as pets, but they were advised to keep only cats and not to be too distracted by them. In the 16th century, Italian painter Federico Baroccio executed a scene of the Holy Family at home. Joseph, Mary, and the Christ child in a cradle are on the left. They have visitors: Mary's cousin Elizabeth, Elizabeth's husband, and their infant son, John the Baptist. Into this scene of domestic bliss, Baroccio adds a cat, right in the center. The cat nurses a kitten. A contemporary Christian legend says a cat gave birth to kittens the same time Mary birthed Christ. For this, the cat was rewarded with an M on her forehead. 17th century Flemish artist Clara Peters painted a cat with the letter M on its forehead. The cat, ears back, sits among a bountiful catch of seafood and a colander. There are moral lessons on offer here, aimed especially at middle-class humans. One lesson? The cat's patience and watchfulness pay off and lead to rewards. Another lesson warns that animal and material desires prevent the soul from reaching spiritual fulfillment. Peters was celebrated for her lifelike style. Up close, for instance, the fur of the cat is strikingly clear. In the early 20th century, Modernists rejected the lifelike in their art. German artist Franz Marc, in 1910, depicted 2 cats sleeping outdoors in the sun. He reminds us of their peacefulness. But, like a true modernist, Marc worked in a simplified style, drawing attention to the circular shapes of the cats' bodies. Up close, we see the marks of the brush on their bodies, not fur. In 1913, Russian modernist Natalia Goncharova seems to have been inspired by the noisy energy of cats. The conflict between the dark and light shapes suggests a cat fight. Sharp corners hint at claws, tiny lines might be bits of fur flying.